intended, and my name is Tracy Ann, and we are working on the Junk Journal July 2025 challenge. Today is day 12, and the prompt for day 12 is secret note. So I want to show you what I'm going to do today, and I have challenged myself to only use what you see right here in front of you. So I've been doing this with all of my pages with my embossing machine. So I've got my prompt here. I'm going to set that right up there. I have one of my vintage dolls. She's a bicycle girl, so I'm going to be using her. I'm going to set her up there as well. Then a white gel pen and my Yoo-Hoo glue stick. So that is all that I'm going to use for this prompt. And so let's find the page and we'll get started. So I do have here in my book the prompts and a little pocket, which I actually haven't used for anything yet, but I'm sure I'll find something. And so I'm just gonna turn back. I've already done a lot of the pages at the beginning. They're not in order. So we're almost to the halfway point, and so these two pages are the way that they were in the original book. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them yet, but we've almost reached the halfway point, so there is a lot to kind of look at. You can see I've got some things planned for some of these pages, and this one I'm still in love with, but it was very involved, which is why I'm trying to do things a little bit more simply. And here we go. So this is the page. I'm not using the feather. I just thought it would be a fun bookmark. So this is the page that I'm going to be using, and actually just this side. I'm going to leave this one alone for another prompt later on. So this particular page already had this printed on it, and I'm going to use what is here. If you don't have a page that looks like this, and you want to do something similar, you can take a book page, maybe out of a children's book or any kind of book, and hand letter your own title. I decided, since the prompt was secret note, that I would use this page and create a little bit of found poetry. And the way that works is you take some text and you identify words or phrases in the text that make sense to you, and you circle them or highlight them in some way, make them pop out, and then that becomes your found poem. So I decided, since this title was in white, that I would use my gel pen to make them pop out. And I also thought this was fitting. So this is called Exercises, and really that's what this junk journal is, right? This challenge is an exercise, a practice in trying new things and extending what you already do, maybe using it in a technique or a tool in a way that you hadn't before. And so I thought that was kind of appropriate. So my secret note is a piece of found poetry. And so I did kind of go through and think this through beforehand and identify the pieces that I wanted to use. So I'm going to start with art exercises, because that's what I kind of view this entire challenge as, is art exercises. And then range of media definitely applies. I've used all kinds of things. And I like the idea of no limits. I think sometimes we see limits and we have to push beyond that idea. So no limits. And then I liked the word push, pushing beyond those ideas. And then as far as you can. So really this idea of challenging yourself. And you know, some things are going to work. I've had a page already that I'm kind of, the idea was a good one, the execution wasn't as great as I thought it would be, but I tried it out and I'm proud of myself for that. And certainly methods applies here. And I liked the idea of sharing and building. Right? Sharing your work, building on your own work, building up other people's work. So those were the pieces that I decided to pull, and already I'm liking the way this is popping. And I can take this out now because I'm not writing anymore. Set that aside. So now my lovely little friend here that I'm going to include, this is my one little piece, and I thought, now she is going to cover up my word as, and I'm just going to have to be okay with that. But I'm going to, I think, yeah, I'll go ahead and use the glue stick. I was toying with the idea of using the glitter. No, I'm going to use the glitter glue. I know I said yoo-hoo, but I just feel like because there's this little skinny piece here, I feel like I might be better off using this so it doesn't get too sloppy. I have a tendency to be too sloppy when I have little narrow pieces like that. So, and I don't want this page to be sloppy. I want this page to be kind of clean. All right, and then we'll take her and again put her down. Now I do want to do a little bit of highlighting of her once that dries, but I'm going to give it a moment to dry. I need to decide where I'm going to put this. So I could put it down here, and I probably could trim this so that it doesn't cover up the text. So down at the very bottom would work. I could put it up here at the top, or even underneath here, or I could pop it in. I don't want to pop it in the middle. I was thinking maybe I could use the middle because it's open, but I don't want to interrupt that. I think this is the least obtrusive, and this red bothers me here. So what I'm going to do is take my scissors and I'm going to cut this into 2, and then I will use the 12. Oh, that was not very straight. Let's try that again. I will use the 12 to cover up the rest of the 51 that is there, and then I won't have any red. All right, so take that off the back, and that'll also let me move this over a little bit further so that I'm not covering up the text. So a win-win in my book. There we go. Okay, so we are just about done. I am gonna probably go back over. Yeah, I'm gonna go back over this again. Okay, now that I've got that a little bit darker, I want to make her pop out just a little bit. So I'm gonna sort of loosely trace around her. I'm not gonna worry about it. If the pen lifts a little bit, I'm sort of using the edge of the cutout as a rough guide. Ooh, that's not what I wanted. But I'm not putting the pen down really hard so that it sort of is a little bit tracy, as opposed to outlined. And then it kind of gives the feel of movement. I like that. A couple more squiggles here. There. All right, I think that is going to be it for today. That is exercises, my secret note. Make a great day.